Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. So super excited to announce that Spotify for Podcasters is actually sponsoring this episode. And if you've ever thought about having a podcast, Spotify has a platform that lets you create one, and it's super easy. And then you can actually distribute it everywhere you want for people to listen to and even earn money. So Spotify for Podcasters lets you record, edit, right from your phone or your computer, which is actually how I started. So no matter what your setup's like, you can start creating it today. Then you can stream it out and distribute it to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Now, the other cool thing is that video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And if you want to take the conversations with your fans to the next level and the people that are listening, you can do Q&A and you can do polls to get people talking. And with Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money a variety of ways, including ads like this, podcast subscriptions, and so much more. And again, it's totally free with no catch. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, formerly Anchor, it's been such a game changer. I'm approaching 500,000 listens. I have multiple people subscribing to my bonus episodes, and it's taken my business to the next level, and it could take yours as well. So again, check out Spotify for Podcasters today. It's completely free, and don't wait any longer. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Networking and Marketing Made Simple. Super excited about today's episode, number one, because I get to talk to one of my clients and friends. But number two, this is a very important topic that I feel like constantly needs massaging and constantly needs communication around, and that's money mindset, our relationship with money, our abundance attraction, so to speak. And I feel like there's still a lot of people out there that really struggle with their money mindset. It's not that they don't feel like they're not worthy or worth all the abundance, whatever that means to them in the world. But I feel like people really struggle in those 6 inches between their ears and really holding themselves back from achieving all of those things that they want to achieve. So we're going to talk about all that and more with today's guest. So Alexandra Taketa, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you, Scott. I'm thrilled to be here with you. And I agree, it's an important topic that, I think we've both done work on, and your audience will 100% benefit from.
Yeah. And again, there's going to be something really cool that we're going to talk about at the end of this episode. So if you're watching or listening, please stay till the end. Alexandra has something really, really important to share with you guys. So definitely stay till the very end so you can hear about what she has going on. So you've been wildly successful from a corporate standpoint, from a consulting standpoint, but also on a business coaching standpoint. So you've had your hands and toes dipped into a lot of different aspects of business, working for other people, working for yourself through corporate, working outside of all that with entrepreneurs. What do you feel through that whole journey that you've been going on? Can you put your finger on what you feel was that catalytic moment for you that kind of really drew you into the money mindset of things that has kind of set you on this path that you're currently on?
Sure. I've got one, I just want to say that everybody's got a money story. And mine has, my journey has had just as many twists and turns as as all of ours have. But mine really started. My work personally started in my mid-20s, and that's, I'd finished graduate school, I'd been to college, I was highly educated, but I found myself at my kitchen table one evening, and I was like 25 doing my taxes, and I had an earned income credit, which means you actually get money back from the government. And while that might sound exciting, that $31 refund was not that appealing because I was actually working probably 50 to 60 hour weeks, week after week after week, and I had nothing to show for it. Because shortly after that, I had just started a relationship with my husband, and we were probably about a month into, dating, and he gave me this really beautiful pearl necklace. And I noticed that when I was trying to receive that gift, my whole body just kind of like freaked out and shut down. Like my throat was closing. I got nervous and anxious, and I couldn't even say a simple thank you. And I think that honestly was the catalytic moment where I realized that if I didn't clean up my relationship with money, I was actually going to be denying myself all the abundance that I really wanted in my life. And I realized that it wasn't about the pearl necklace. It was bigger than the income taxes. It was that abundance was trying to flow to me, but I was cutting it off. I was blocking it. And so that was the impetus to really start the work in my own journey of healing my relationship with money, and, set me on a trajectory to then, as you said, have a very successful career, go on to then, write my first book, start the consulting work, become an entrepreneur myself. And I think that what I realized when I left my corporate job and I started my entrepreneurial journey was that the work that I really wanted to do was the work that I'd had to do myself. And that I wanted to help other women, and individuals be as that successful, to really feel the fullness of abundance that they could have in their lives. That it wasn't just about financial currencies and allowing those to flow. That's actually pretty easy once you get your money mindset straight, but really like also this whole abundance piece too, bringing that in.
So in looking back at your time in corporate, because there's, my backstory now. I never spent any time in corporate. I've been psychologically unemployable since day one. I've only run my own businesses. So people have different journeys. I kind of learned from the school of hard knocks, how to succeed, how to make money. But there's a lot of people that take that other more traditional route, like yourself, where, they work their way up the corporate ladder. Obviously, there comes with that raises and more income. But there's a lot of people that have that entrepreneurial spirit inside of them. They're meant for more. They want to do more. Looking back at your corporate career, what do you feel were some of the biggest tangibles or assets that you learned being in corporate that allowed you to become so wildly successful running your own business as an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I gained so much out of my corporate experience. I mean, I really feel like I'm incredibly blessed to have had the opportunities that I had and to have worked with the individuals that I did, because I had some really phenomenal examples of leadership and mentorship from bosses and colleagues, people that I worked with that weren't necessarily my direct supervisors, but I gathered a lot of that. I had the benefit of working inside of big Fortune 500, Fortune 100 organizations that had resources and were committed to employee development as well. And that was the side of the business that I was on. I was running leadership and management and talent development. So I felt like I was always at the forefront of sort of cutting edge ideas and ways to do things inside of organizations, and oftentimes bringing those to the leadership and supporting leadership on big change initiatives. I often worked on mergers and acquisitions and bringing people into organizations, supporting succession plans and development, all of those things. So I had a real line of sight to the complexity of organizations, but then also, I think one of the things that I learned and that I'm good at naturally is just simplifying down processes. So taking something really big and giant, and then how do we make this like easy and simple for people. So I just learned a ton.
I know this is a loaded question, but why do people still struggle so much with money mindset?
Well, because I mean, there's so many reasons, but money is a highly charged topic in general. And it's not that money itself is innately charged. Money is neutral. It's like a paper, it's, number in the bank. It actually has no inherent qualities of its own, but it takes on the energy that we give it. And as children, we learn all these ideas about money. We start to adopt beliefs. We take on different stories from our parents, from our grandparents, from our religious leaders, from our neighbors, our aunts, our uncles, right? From the traumatic experiences that we've had. Maybe we experienced a parent that went through bankruptcy, or we had a money failure of our own, and then we took on the guilt of that, right? We build up all this energy around money. And I have yet to find somebody who, whether they have millions of dollars in the bank or a few bucks to their name, we all have energy around money. So getting really clear about that, I think, is essential. And that's a lot of the work that I do inside of my Money Mastery Academy, is leading people through, the keys to really unlocking money and abundance inside of their life, introducing them to the creative formula for manifesting money and abundance, walking them through, and this is probably something I learned from my corporate days, just a very structured, organized approach to going about this work and creating a healthy relationship with money, transforming your relationship with money, letting go of the abundance blocks, clearing the money blocks, so that you can actually create the money that you want and live the abundant life that you're desiring.
So you've worked with a lot of people. I mean, you specifically work with women, but I don't think any one person, people have money blocks left and right. What are some of the, I would say, like for people that haven't worked with you, or maybe haven't been a part of your workshop or your courses, what's a simplistic tool or maybe an anchor that someone can adopt if they're finding themselves really having this really resistant pull or push to and from money, and how can they work through all that?
One, I think, is just recognizing that you are actually in a relationship with money. And most people don't realize that. And so it's like any relationship, it has to be nurtured, it has to be cared for, you have to be attentive to it, but you can't be like overly obsessive or like super needy or really aggressive or negative. I mean, imagine if you were complaining about your partner and how like there's never enough and it's never enough, and you don't behave the way I want you, really, it wouldn't be working out for you, right? All that negativity would be seeping into your relationship. And so that's the first thing. I think that's the first tool, just recognizing you're in a relationship with money, and then becoming aware with, how are you thinking about money? How are you treating your money? Are you actually respecting the money that you have? Are you attentive to the money that you have? Are you actually even intimate with your money? Do you know how much money you have, right? Do you have money systems in place? Like all the things that you would need to do if you were in a loving, caring relationship. You have to treat your money that way. And then money will respond in kind, in a loving way back, right? It will be flowing into your experience because you're actually receptive to it.
I think there's a lot of people that maybe haven't thought about, I mean, again, people have thought about the relationship they have with money, meaning like how they feel towards money. But again, there is a synergistic connection between an individual and the money they have, don't have, and wish to have. So again, you can think abundantly all you want. You can close your eyes and think about swimming in piles and piles of money. That's one part of it, is acknowledging and envisioning what it would be like. But I think an important aspect to becoming prosperous, becoming abundant, is taking action on those feelings, because
100%.
you can't just sit there and say, I'm ready for the money to fall out of the sky. Let's go.
No,
There has to be a a clear directive and path and action steps that are taken. So speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the inside my Money Mastery Academy, we teach, and I teach a creative formula for manifesting money in abundance. And it's pretty simple. It's first, getting clear. Like, what do you actually want and why do you want it? Most people don't even have that step covered. They don't know what they want. When I ask them, and what do you want? They say, I want more money. Is more money 10 cents or $1 million? Like, it's very different. So you have to give the universe clear direction to know what you want, but then you also have to know why you want it. What's the purpose behind that? Why does that matter? What's the impact? Get some energy going. And then that leads you into that next step of really creating that passionate desire, raising the energy, in terms of your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, all of that. And then it's creating the plan, like you said. Inside of my Money Mastery Academy, we have a proprietary process that we call abundance planning. We talk about your revenue wheels, how you're bringing revenue in, your expense management, all of your financial systems, really getting intimate with money, understanding how it's flowing in and out. Like, are you actually creating money based on what matters most to you? Are you spending your money based on what matters most to you? All of those things, because a lot of people, I have women who make $600,000 that are in my Money Mastery Academy, but they have no money at the end of the year. And so that's why they come to me, because they're like, where did my money go? Right? They don't have a system. They don't have a plan. So you have to create that plan. And you have to know, okay, if I want to have this much and I want to end up with this much, then what does that actually take? What are the action steps that I'm doing? And that, what are the goals that are very specific that are aligned with that? So we get very strategic. We get very practical. Yes, we do deal with sort of the woo and the mindset and the energetics, and we get our, all of our energy straight, but we're getting very practical because you need to take action. And then that last piece of that formula is really the commitment, like actually doing the work. Wishing, wanting, hoping, all of those things are very passive. The commitment is a decisive action. It is, yes, this is for me. I believe it. I have faith. I'm taking daily steps towards my goals, and I'm allowing it into my life. So it's all of those pieces that come together. And I think most teachers, they might dabble in one or two of those aspects. A lot of them deal with the mindset, but then they have nothing to back it up. You have to have the plan in place. You have to take action. You have to have the commitment. Those are essential components.
I could not agree more, because there's so many people, as you said, that teach money mindset, and they teach the, I would say, higher powered spiritual side, feeling side of money mindset. And once someone grasps that concept, it's then, okay, what do I do now that I've grasped it? And if you're not being taught what to do with now that higher powered connection you have to money, basically, well, my job's down here. I'll see you later. People are going to be in the same place that they were before they had that great relationship with money, because now that you've developed that relationship with money, and it's good, it's positive, it's reciprocated, right? Just like a relationship, right? You're communicating. Now you have to take all of those positive feelings, energy, and put it into play and put it into use by having an action plan. Okay, now where are you going to direct that to? Are you going to direct it to a workshop? Are you going to direct it to a course that you're going to create? Are you going to direct it towards one-on-one coaching or consulting or speaking? Or there has to be a modality that you're flowing that energy and that relationship into to see the ROI and the return that you're seeking. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. There's two pieces to it. There's the relationship piece, but then there's the action around the relationship piece,
Yes.
which a lot of people leave out. And I think that's what frustrates me, because there's a lot of people that may be watching or listening to this that don't like the woo-woo stuff. Like, they don't like, the woo-woo and think, feel, attract, all that stuff. But you have to understand that's part of it. Like, you have to have that energetic relationship. But what makes someone that's into the woo-woo different from someone else is that person that's teaching that foundational relationship that you need to have from an emotional standpoint to money, if they're a good coach like you are, they're teaching you the action that needs to be taken now that the relationship has been established.
Yes, and that's what makes it sustainable. And I think that's what I'm so proud of, is because I don't leave people hanging. I'm really giving them all the components to be successful and for that success to be sustainable. The women who go through my program, they make massive transformations. They buy their dream homes, they buy land, they, get rid of like fears and anxieties that have been waking them up at 2 a.m. every morning for years. They drop those finally and they feel free. I've had people who went from $500,000 of sales from their inside of their company to $1 million months, month after month after month. I mean, the stories are really incredible, and I think that's part of what lights me up, is that it's because the way that we teach the work is that it's not just a woo-woo or a spiritual thing. There are energetic components to the work, but it is very implementation focused. It is very tangible, practical as well. So, having both of those pieces, I really feel like is essential. And you can't be successful in the long run unless you have them both.
Could not agree more. So we've touched on it a few times throughout this episode. So I have a couple of questions before we finish up. Before we get to obviously the thing that we wanted to talk about with what you have going on, if someone is interested in learning more about you, your services, what's the best way for people to connect with you offline, whether it's on social or website? How can they find more about you?
Sure. My website is a great place to go, alexandrataketa.com. And I'm sure we can, post that in the link because it's complicated to spell, but it's just alexandrataketa.com. And there you can download all sorts of free resources around abundance and money mindset, different visualization tools, all sorts of things are there for you. Also, my Instagram is a great place to find me. It's alexandra.taketa. I'm always there, posting consistently. LinkedIn, obviously, I'm on LinkedIn. You're welcome to message me. And inside of Facebook, I have a community that's about 2,000 people strong. It's called Abundance Revolution. And, we often do free trainings in there, and it's a great community too. So those are great places to connect with me.
Awesome. So for anyone listening or watching, all of those mentioned website, social will be in the description of this episode. So you're not going to have to look too far. So Alexandra, let's talk about the workshop that you have coming up very, very soon. So talk about the workshop and what people can expect to learn and obviously take away, and how can they find out more about it?
Sure. The workshop I'm hosting is called Prosper, and it's really about unlocking money in abundance. So it's clearing your money box, discovering your true prosperity, and then taking it a step further to, empower you to really make the impact that you're here to create, which I think is important, because I believe that, part of the purpose of the work that I'm here to do is to help people really actualize their greatest visions and purpose. And I don't claim to know what that is for each person, but what I do know is that if you have financial static or interference on the line, and you're freaked out about money, it's really hard to go do that work. So when you clear that out of the way, you can really be your most fully expressed, impactful person inside of your business, inside of your work, inside of your community, inside of your life. So that's what this workshop is really about. It's helping you build that healthy relationship with money. We always share stories that are inspiring. I give free gifts away. So just by registering, you actually get a pretty exciting bundle of goodies that I have put together for you that just gets emailed to you. The workshop itself is going to be on June 6th, and it's 90 minutes. We do coaching. It's interactive. It's all on a private Zoom. So it's a safe place to come and, and hang out. I always like to say that there's something called co-regulation that happens when you get a group of people together that are, with the same intention, with the same energy of expanding their money mindset, of expanding the abundance that's possible for themselves. And so it's almost like when you do this work together that bigger things can come to be, because you've got not just your own energy, but the energy of the group around you, which I always find super exciting and inspiring, because oftentimes people will ask questions or say things that maybe expand your own reality in a way that, you haven't thought about things before. So I definitely would encourage people to come and join me in that if you feel like this is work you want to go do.
And it's free.
Yeah, it's totally free. Yes, it's totally free. There's no excuse. This is probably something I could charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars for, but I offer it free to my community because this is the work that I'm meant to do. And, I have created massive abundance in my life. I have been the 7-figure earner. I have created the millions in the bank and the dream homes and all those things. And more than that, I've really allowed abundance into my life in a way that I'm super proud of. And I want to help other people feel like that too. So
you have to give in order to get, and you are definitely giving and you are definitely receiving at the same time, which is a very, very wonderful thing. And you speak the truth. And that's, I think, why you and I aligned as soon as we met. Obviously, we were in a mastermind together and obviously connected outside of it. And obviously that led us here. And I know my audience is going to take so much away from this because, life, business, money, it doesn't have to be challenging if you don't want it to be. And just learning simplistic tools, strategies, techniques, relationships, all those things, once deployed, you would be amazed at what you can accomplish in a very short amount of time just by shifting those things. So before we sign off today, I love finishing with this question. What does success truly mean to you?
Gosh, I think my definition has changed over the years, which is always fascinating to think about. To me, success means really loving the things that I'm doing, feeling like I am able to, that I am receiving, but I'm also giving generously, that I'm, witnessing and there to support people through incredible transformations and shifts. That's super exciting for me, that I have the space to be fully present with my family and inside of my life. It's really that flow of abundance inside of my life.
Love that. It's all about the flow. And again, I was so excited when we, talked about doing this episode. And I know for the people that are listening, I'm going to highly, highly encourage you to attend the free 90-minute workshop. It is going to help you more than you can imagine. No matter how far behind, ahead you are and where you are in your business, your life, your money, we are always constantly learning and educating ourselves. It's progress, not perfection. We're looking to take those steps forward, and obviously this workshop is going to teach you all that and more. So I just want to thank you so much for being here today, and gracing and blessing my audience with all of your knowledge and your tools, your tips. And I'm just truly grateful for you. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Scott. I really appreciated having the conversation and just all of your generosity to your audience, all that you give. It's really remarkable. So thank you.
I appreciate that. And again, all information discussed in today's episode about the workshop, website, social, you will be able to find all of that and more in the description of today's episode. So everyone, please enjoy the rest of your days, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you everyone for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.